5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the show.
Well, welcome to the second episode of Coffee with the Carrolls. I'm Erica Carroll.
I'm
is
Joel Carroll.
And today we have
Philip Zettler.
Philip is joining us. We pulled him off of the show floor, and we have so graciously.
And no coffee. We did not get
no
coffee
coffee.
today.
Oh, there's no
Yeah,
coffee
there's no
today.
coffee.
Lots of water. We've been drinking water.
Yes, that is good.
HETMA has been so gracious to let us use their booth to record today, and they have this amazing podcasting studio. I'm very excited about this. So, Philip, I actually want to start with you because we pulled you off of the show floor. What on the show floor so far has made you just stop?
Well, I think the biggest thing, obviously, it always makes you stop when you walk in, right? You're like, oh, I don't know if I made the right decision. Because you get over inundated of stuff. But I think one of the bigger things for me, at least at this show, is what I've seen from Shure. I like what we're doing with the combined DSP with a lot of the UC kits. I mean, it used to be such a complicated process. Like, everyone's got their own UI, everyone's got their own designer, if you will, which is cool. They all have their feature sets, but you're like, I like that, I like this. It's nice to start seeing a lot of the manufacturers that you see around are like, hey, we actually do need to work with everybody. Yeah. Mainly Microsoft. And we got to be friends with everybody. Right. And I think that's what you're kind of seeing now, where it's like things are kind of just plug it in and let it go. And I think that's really nice. Like I said, I'm a big audio guy, so I'm like, the DSP stuff gets me all like weird. I talk about it for a long time. I know Jeff yesterday was like, all right, enough, Phil. We don't need you don't need to sell it for him. Sell it for us. But I think that's been the big thing. I think Shure's kind of been the one of the standouts for us. I mean, obviously, Biamp, same thing. We walked that yesterday. Really cool stuff that we're just combining all of our processing and now into one box. Mm-hmm. And then your different flavors of that, right? Which is nice.
Right.
That's awesome. Joel, has there been something either on the work side or the play side? Which side have you liked more?
So far, I've spent all my time over here on the work side. I went to the play side for just a minute, but I still got to go and spend some time over there. Yeah. But I spent a lot more time in the work side, and I'm noticing an interesting trend with a lot of these manufacturers. If we remember back in the day, when I say back in the day, only a few years ago, everybody was trying to do everything wireless, meaning even bring your own meeting 100% wireless. And a lot of the leaders in that space are still doing that. But what they're also doing is adding in a USB-C component so they can bring the camera and everything to your laptop or whatever devices that you bring in, or they're running Teams or Zoom natively on the device. And it's interesting because it's a big departure from what we were all doing in that collaboration space. Everything needs to be wireless. I think a lot of the manufacturers have it right by going that direction. I mean, I'm not saying you shouldn't do wireless, but
I agree.
I heard a great quote, like, the user experience is too difficult to get the users to actually use the thing.
You find it not being used, you got it, and it's a fancy thing on the wall.
And each one I've seen that has done this. Mercer I was talking to, WolfVision, a couple others, but those are the two that stood out. That was one of the main driving factors to make some of those changes. It was surprising.
Coming from the AV world, we're all at it, right? The idea is, we during COVID, we all just to hurry up, right? We're gonna get as much stuff out there when we go to a video conferencing situation or a collaborative space. And now we're like, wait a minute, we actually can be collaborative and creative. And then now we're finding the innovative ways to push that AI into a lot of the stuff. Mm-hmm. And you're right, it needs to be easier, not more difficult. And that's actually the same thing I was making. Like, I don't actually want 50 steps.
I need one, maybe two, maybe two.
Yeah. The second thing is, can it just work? That's the biggest thing I see.
So I have a question for Philip, actually. Yeah, because Philip, you just started working with NCI.
Yeah.
You used to work for
NCR.
So
yeah, no, it's real hard to switch.
Yeah. There's a letter difference there. Coming to the show as a integrator versus an end user, and vice versa, what is different in your experience?
Well, when I was the customer, I was always right. So,
I know Jacob well, and he I don't know if he would agree, but that's fine.
No, actually, it's funny you mentioned that because this is my first show, not as a customer.
Right.
I've come last 4 or 5 years as a customer. I've done Vegas, I've done Orlando, and I don't know. I just look at it from a different set of eyes, right? So as a customer, I'm like cutting angles and cutting corners and slashing product, and I'm like, we can add the things like, on my side now, I'm like, no, you kind of need that in the box and all these and all this other stuff. And I understand what Jacob's always driving. I was like, just please listen to me now. I'm trying to save you from you. And I understand that. It's kind of fun coming to the integrator side. It's like, I'm like, he was right. He was right the whole
Knowing
time.
you well for a long time,
Yeah.
you do need some saving.
Yeah, I
mean,
do.
That is fair.
And
Yeah.
and I think it's the big thing is seeing from a different set of eyes, right? It's,
okay.
it's before, you're just like, wow, it's like shiny objects. And they're like, all right, come with us, come over here, follow us. All right, no, not over there, come over here. and now I look at it from a, you know me, I like to help people already. So it's really nice to kind of see a lot of the products that we walk the floor with. And I'm like, oh, I didn't think about that. Or, oh, that's interesting. You know what I mean? Because I hate when we get stuck in a rut and we just say, well, we've always done it this way. I'm like, that doesn't sound fun.
No.
And you know me, I like to fly by the seat of my pants here. So, and I think it's a big thing. It's just seeing everything with a new set of eyes. It just makes it, you see things from a different light, right? Because now I'm building all the projects. I'm not the end user. I'm the one that has to I have to make it make sense. I need to help our PM. So they're like, what did he put on the paper? What did Phil say?
But you also then, the benefit I think that you've got is you also understand the ultimate end user, which used to be your end users, right? Absolutely. At NCR. So that makes it a lot easier in your new role to be able to handle that and discuss that.
I think so. And that's actually, it gives me a little bit of an insight, right? Because people, you think about it, like it's a lot. And, for me dealing with my executive level on down, it's such a large company. Yeah. It's a lot to deal with every day. And I'm like, think about people getting bothered by customers. I'm like, the CEO is going to come down and strangle me if we don't hit this right. So it's nice, man. It brings definitely a new light. And hopefully I'm a breath of fresh air and I don't know, Jeff walking around last night, like, oh no, these guys, this is what we hired. But it's been really good. And it's like I said, it's just been fun to have the insight of seeing, like you said, the customer side of it. And then you're like, wait a minute, there's actually work being done here. And this is kind of complicated.
Right.
So something that I've noticed every time I walk into a booth, I feel like every brand is showcasing how they're using AI. And I've sort of walked into each booth like waiting for that pitch, that AI pitch. Is there anything that has stood out to you that has actually felt like, oh yeah, okay, that's a great use of AI?
I want to be apprehensive about how I discuss AI, so the guys in suits don't come grab me and throw me off the. There he goes.
We are a little higher at the moment. Yes.
Honestly, I don't know about standout. I say when I want to be careful about AI because I think AI is an interesting thing. Right, we don't exactly know how to handle it or what it's going to be. Even at NCR, like AI this, AI that. We got to push AI. We don't know why we're pushing AI. Who's AI? Does he get hired? Like, what's going on? Right. And I think that maybe a standout, like a thing, if I could point like an object, maybe like the Logitech, like that AI rally is kind of cool where it starts handling a lot of that onboard stuff, or something that's happening in the background that you don't realize how complicated it is. Right. But other than that, I think we're looking at you got to be careful. Everyone's got AI. But I just put it on the paper. AI, I got AI. Joel's AI. Right. And I think you just got to watch that. But I'd say the standout item would probably be that Logitech Rally AI. I think that's really cool where it's all integrated in one. And it's nice. I think that's like the feature, unless you've seen something a little more intuitive.
What's interesting is what you had said, and Eric and I have talked about this 1,000 times, is, when is AI? I mean, it's AI, but when is it not AI? So is it control? Is it AI? Like, is it programming? The thing for me about AI is when nobody knows it's actually happening and it just naturally does its thing, like you're talking about the Logitech and the AI and the rally bar, then we win because it's taken something that
well said.
It's very difficult, right? Like most users don't know how to go in and use a camera and do the thing and the thing, but when it can do it for you, they're not even going to call it AI.
And you don't know what's happening. That's the best part.
100%, absolutely.
Yeah. So something that I look for when I go into all of these booths also, and we've talked about this before, is I want to see the user experience. And I think that that's really important. And something that I saw that was, I don't want to say it was standout, but the way that it was presented was a really great use case. And that was in the Sony booth. They have a full setup of like an in-home office with a full LED wall in the back.
Cool.
The guy sitting at the desk, a PTZ camera. Yeah. And then on the outside of that wall, there's a display showing what it looks like on the far end and showing the actual application of how those things can be used in that space, I think made more of an impression on me because I didn't have to walk up to a display to figure out what the hell am I looking at.
Yeah. That's fair. Actually, really clever. And I mean, that's the thing too. It's like you almost get the energy, right? When you see the space,
right?
Yes.
It's hard to translate how you feel when you go into a space, right? When it's just on a wall. And I always say it all the time. We're not selling a thing. We're selling how you felt.
Yes,
when you were there.
You're selling
and
the
I think it's important.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. I think that was actually a really cool booth. It's nice to see both sides, right? Because that's what the client's going to want.
Yeah.
Hey, well, what does it look like on my wall?
Right.
You go get the PO, we'll get the wall.
Yeah.
But I think, kudos to a lot of the manufacturers, because there's been a lot of change. And it's not just this year. It's over the last however many years, where you go into, let's say 20 years ago, you go into a booth and it was all just, the tech and the specs and the thing and what it does and look at the features. And now they're talking about the why and the how. And this is the experience that we're providing. And there's a lot of times you're not even hearing about the technology unless you ask.
Yeah.
And I enjoy that, because to me, that's the most important part. All right, the technology is cool, but what are we actually doing? And is it valuable? Is it providing a real use?
And that's the point even I was driving at. You see a lot of the things now where we're so rushed to go, we got to have it wireless, we got to have it this, we got to have it that. Now we're like, but what do we want to do with it? Like you said, I think that's really important. And we're at the really nice influx now. Like we're talking about how can AI work?
Right.
Not that we have to have it, but what do we want it to do?
Yes.
And can it help us? Because it's always really about your economy of motion. How can I do less steps to get to the end? And if we can make it faster, which I'm hoping AI is going to do for us, is like analytically start analyzing things like, oh, hey, you missed this. Like, oh, yeah, I did. It'd be helpful, but it's really cool.
I agree.
So do you feel like conference rooms are getting smarter?
I think, I had this conversation yesterday. We were walking around with Jacob. I think they are getting smarter, like the feature set, because everyone's got their own thing, right? Or how their camera works, or how their video bar does, or our beamforming this, or it all needs to do the same thing. But I think I don't know. It's getting smarter, but like I mentioned, it's getting easier. Mm-hmm. So the technology is becoming advanced, right? With the way that it's working in the background, like we talked about, it's happening. You don't even know it's happening. But I think they're getting a little easier, because like I mentioned, even with like the Shure device, right? Look, I just want to plug it in. I don't need a whole lot of stuff. And if I can get one cable from here to the ceiling, and then touch panel on the table, we're done. Right? It just sets itself up, because now you used to have a guy that programmed all that, and now a lot of that's being built in, where it's like, hey, the end user can do it. Because we find clients like that all the time. They're like, hey, I want this. You're like, oh, wait, I thought I was supposed to tell you what you wanted. And you're like, no, I want, Logitech. I want Shure. I want this, which is nice. But so yes and no, I'd have to say to your question.
That's fair.
Long-winded, but straight to the point.
Yeah.
So is there anything that you are looking forward to that you haven't seen yet, or maybe like rumor on the street, something you've heard?
Honestly, I think one of my exciting things is, only because I've been using it, and I do love the product, but the Atlas booth has got a lot of really cool stuff, like their newer pendant speakers. I'm really in love with how they handle their controlled audio space. I did at NCR. We did, you've seen that massive Marche. And just the way they handle like multi-zonal audio is really cool. They've got a really nice Bluetooth wall plate that's really cool. And it's touch panel. It's nice and fancy. Bluetooth all. I'm an audio guy, so I just want to play music and turn it up loud. And I think the way that they've intuitively handled how you set up a large system, they make it a little easy. The me wants to go in and mess with everything. Jacob doesn't like that, right? But I think the idea is it's so cool. And I think if you get a chance, you got to go by the Atlas booth. They've got some really cool stuff. And I did install 96 speakers in the sky.
You did. We'll be there at 3, I believe, because there was a happy hour. with Colin Burney and his Reddit group. So
I'm gonna try and make it a 3.
You have to be there at 3. There's some great people over there at that point.
Yeah, although I will say, man, we were at Max Hub too. I got to say, installing some of their all-in-one systems, that's another thing that's been really cool. What I see a lot of the manufacturers, like, we're going to put it all in one thing. Yeah. Because, that's another thing I know from a customer experience side. It's like, well, I just want it to work. And then, the other side is like, well, we want it to work too, and I don't want you to call me later on when it's broken.
Exactly. If there's one thing you think that's missing from the show, what would it be? What would you like to see?
A lot of things I'd like to see.
Philip, we've only got a certain amount of time.
But it is Vegas.
It is Vegas. No, I don't know if there's anything I'd rather see. I think a little more engagement. I think actually to your previous point earlier, sometimes it is a little overwhelming. I have to kind of figure it out. And a lot of us are smart enough to kind of read through the things. But maybe just a little thought at layout, right? So why do we put this here, and this leads us to the next thing, and how do we get our information a little faster so it's not so overwhelming? Because you go in the booth, there's a bunch of people, and he's like, hey, how you doing? What do you need? I'm like, I don't know yet. I just need to digest what's in the space. And I think that'd probably be a little help. Like, it's so overwhelming when you walk in. You see 50 LED walls a day. You're like, so what does this one do?
Why is this different?
Can you make it less bright, please? Can you make it less bright?
That's a good point, though. But I think part of it is how, when you go into the booth, how people approach you and ask you the right questions. Not just what are you looking for, but what do you do in your day-to-day? Like, what problems are you solving? so that they can tailor their experience within their booth to how they show it to you.
Yeah, and you guys know, I mean, you've been on the show floor many years now, and it's tough. And then you got to go through the same spiel over again, and then smile again. And I feel for all, especially the tourists, right? I'm like, can we just film it one time? All right, everyone watch the video.
Yeah. Right.
But you're right. I mean, it's an energy thing too, right? There's some things that you see, you're like, ooh, this is really, you can feel like everyone's excited, like the translucent OLED, stuff like that, where everyone's really excited to see it.
Cool. Yeah.
So it's, again, you're selling the feeling. How do you feel?
Yeah.
If we can make you feel right, we can do anything.
The booths that we've been into have been much more experiential, I think, this year for us. And the fact that when they come up, they are asking questions and talking. They're not like, let me give you the token tour because I'm supposed to start at section A.
Yeah.
And then, so I like that because I want to see the thing I want to see. Let's ask some questions. But it's been different this year. I think a lot of the manufacturers, I give a big kudos to them. They did a great job so far, and they always have. But this year, to me, it's something standing out different, whether it's the people they brought or the training that they provided their booth staff. Mm-hmm. I'm really enjoying every booth that I get to walk through and have a conversation.
Yeah, it's actually nice you get
really
the information.
Nice.
Yeah, it's really nice. I agree. I haven't had any issue asking questions, right? Because me, I'll sit and talk to you for a long time, as you guys are finding out right now.
We never would have known that. Ever.
But it's been nice, and they're making it easier, right? Everyone's got their configurator. Everyone's got how we can put our rooms together, and then your information is almost theoretically always at the end of your fingertips there, because you can look anything you need to while you're walking. And that's what's nice. I see a lot of people, they're going in the booth and then you see them walk away looking at the object, and I'm like, well off, manufacturers, good job, guys. That was the job done.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm also seeing more people spend longer time in booths. Like a lot of the conversations, and and granted, some of them are friends, but they're like, sit down and we're having a deep conversation about the product and the why. And I'm seeing that just with other people. It's been nice. It's a definitely different vibe, I think this year.
It's also Las Vegas.
Yeah, it is Las Vegas. And it's only 108 today, down from a little colder than yesterday, which is nice.
Yeah. So you were saying how everybody is walking into these booths and they're actually looking at these products and they're able to, interface with those products, especially after it's installed. What does a single pane of glass look like to you in your new role when you're installing all of these different brands?
Well, I always like to say that, we're kind of agnostic when it comes to the device, right? It's always customer driven. Like, what do you want? It's always like, all right, what do you want it to do? Do you want to touch it? Do you not want to touch it? Whatever that looks like. And I think it's always customer driven. But for me, man, I don't know. It kind of depends on what the use case is, right? So it's like, what do you want to do? I mean, because for me, I come from the heart, right? So, at NCR, I always cared so much. And it's like, well, I want this. Like, all right, we don't need to spend $10 million to do what you want. We need it to work. Because nothing drives me more insane. Like I mentioned, you spend all this money to get whatever it is. You're like, if it's just room booking or just a conferencing space or whatever that looks like, and then it doesn't work the way you want it to. You're like, well, but I had the opportunity to help you, save you from yourself, if you will. And I think that's the important thing. But I don't know. I mean, if you just got to see what they need. And I think that's the important thing is I want to make sure we're giving the customer what they want and make sure that it works. Because at the end of the day, it could be anything, right? I drive this all the time. It's like we could put $1 billion LED wall up, but if you put crap content to it, like, what do you want me to do? It makes it hard. I don't know if that answered your question or talked around it, but it was close.
It's okay. So I actually want to ask you a question because today I learned something new, that Crestron has a lighting company. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Crestron has every company. Yeah.
Crestron has a lighting company.
Yeah. Yes. So is there something that you have learned that's new while you've been here?
I think I'm the one that told you about the lighting company, in fairness. So I can't use that one. But somebody told me, but it wasn't today. Is there something that I learned since I've been here? You bring up a good question. I don't know if I've learned something new because I knew that one already and I gave that to you. What I'm learning though is I feel, and maybe this is, if I'm seeing it may not answer your question. I feel marketing is doing a great job, and we talked about this the other day, of being responsible in marketing AI. So what I learned is the mindset I had of what I'm going to see when it came to the show was absolutely wrong.
Yeah. I
expected everything to have a .ai or an AIX or something on the end.
Yeah.
And
It's been very subtly embedded.
They're subtly putting it into the products
and
where it makes
strategically.
value, and we're actually so the AI isn't AI for the AI purpose. It's actually AI that's
instead of just calling it AI.
Yeah.
Right. And marketing's doing across the industry right now. Marketing's doing a great. I can only tell you one booth. I don't even know what it was that had the word AI on it. That's it.
Was it AI speech?
No. That's another booth that does have AI speech on it.
He's like, oh, yeah, the big AI in the sky. We didn't
Jim Mergens, love you. Sorry that I forgot about the name of your booth. But no, it's a different company. And what I learned was, I learned that people are doing it probably the right way. I did not expect that.
I agree. We did talk about this, and we talked about how like paint was branded UHD.
Yeah, UHD
before,
paint at Home Depot.
And we've seen screen protectors for your phone that says AI capable or AI enabled ready.
Screen protectors. I'm like,
AI ready.
It's a piece of glass.
The mount AI mounted.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I think it's a really good point too. It's we're showing you the feature set, the use case, not just hey, we have AI.
Right.
You're like, cool. Right. What does it do? No. We're not here to talk about that. It's just we have it.
Yeah.
I think it's a really good point brought up.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Excellent.
Thanks for putting me on the spot. I have to think of what I learned today. And
every time she asks a question, I'm like, did we answer any of your questions?
Yeah, I don't know. Because Philip, this is like a normal conversation that you and I would have.
This is normal. If we weren't filming this, we could be downstairs having this
same exact thing. And Erica goes, I don't think they answered the question. I just asked them.
That's okay.
I think the rule is you say it back to yourself tonight.
Yeah, exactly. And I did it. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, but I'm going to answer something else. So
last time we were here, the Sphere had just opened, and that was like really big technology. Have you seen and I will say that when we went and did that experience 2 years ago, the biggest thing that stood out to me was the directional sound.
There's a lot of things that stood out to me in the Sphere.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And I saw the Grateful Dead 2 nights later.
I saw you too.
Oh yeah, I know. I apprehensive to bring it up. I know.
It's not a competition.
It is a competition. I win. He didn't.
Yeah, he did.
I went to night 1 and 2.
Yeah. And with Aiden went with you too.
Aiden went with
That's
me.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's an experience.
It is.
Has there been anything that has really sort of been the buzz on the floor, the way the Sphere and all of the technology was sort of driving that 2 years ago here?
I don't know. I mean, because the Sphere, it's like, I don't want to say it's novelty now. I'm like, oh yeah, the Sphere. Like,
they're
it's
building
amazing.
mini spheres now around the country.
Actually, I think that's what I was going to get to is right there. So like in Atlanta, we've got the Cosm that just opened up, which looks fabulous. It's like, I kind of think that's where we're going with a lot of the DV LED or like our LED technology is you're going to start seeing use of that in your movie theaters, right? You're starting to see like the boutique theaters already, like your movie tavern, stuff like that. And people are like really driving for that entertainment, but they're realizing that entertainment can be sporting events. Correct. It can be concerts.
Yes.
I mean, look at what
use for the space.
Yeah. God love Taylor Swift, right? Look what she did with just one movie, right? You're like, right. They can start doing those kinds of things. And especially like I bring it up like the Sphere is, like you can start giving people these immersive experiences right there. And that's really cool. So that'd be my buzz, right? I have a nerd out about that. Like the Cosm thing is super. I'm like, let's go. We're going to see everything there.
Yeah. Because it's local to you.
Yeah.
Us.
Yeah. Everybody loves it.
I mean, sometimes in fairness, always local to him. Yeah.
Yeah. LED wall sports bar. And it's fun.
Yeah. I mean, I would agree.
Yeah, but I think it's a big thing. It's just seeing a lot of the stuff is getting down on smaller forms, right? You can see it's not just like the one massive LED wall this big expensive company has. You're seeing everybody has it. They can. It's being brought out to almost a prosumer. You know what I mean? Like kind of thing.
I would agree with that. It's an interesting point because it's starting to be everywhere. It's so much easier to install with the different manufacturers and
and it's getting easy.
It is, and it's getting cost effective, and heat is even getting better, right? You're not standing in front of it. Like,
I mean, look at the cabinets in the last 10 years, guys. They were like that deep, and now the technology's faster, stronger. But again, we're taking that breath of fresh air right now. As an industry, we're like, so what do we want it to do?
Yeah.
We were for so long, we were just pushing as much as we could out there. And it's like, all right, hold on. All right, let's see how this works first. And now you've seen it. You've seen how people react to it, which is nice. Like I said, hats off to all the manufacturers. That's what they're kind of listening. You're like, oh, they do hear us. We were complaining kind of loud.
I always told you that we did.
Yeah.
You just didn't listen to me.
As a customer.
Part of that is making sure that the feedback loop is actually like penetrating within the company itself. Like it might be getting to the front lines, but it's not necessarily getting heard.
That's what AI is really doing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Analyze all my salespeople's meetings and bring me back the exact thing that we need to be building.
Well, Philip, I really appreciate literally.
Erica, Joel, I love you guys already. So thank you so much.
tell people who you are real quick?
My name's
what you
Philip
do,
Zettler.
and make sure you do a good sales pitch for NCI. I want to see if you can do it properly.
I will.
Yeah.
My name is Philip Zettler. I'm a technology systems engineer at NCI. I handle sales for AV, low voltage, access control. We kind of one-stop shop. We do it all. We're a great company. We handle everything in the Southeast or anywhere else you'd like us to go. And I mean, like, again, I can't drive more importantly when you ask me about what are the things we're seeing or we want to give to people. It's really just what they want. I want it to work. And that's the idea where our company is driving at. Like, we listen, which has always been a big thing, especially with Jacob. When coming from the customer side, the reason that I always personally worked with NCI is because they listen. They're not just selling the thing because they've got a quota, right? They're listening what you have. I mean, they're great people too, which is nice. And I just really enjoy that. And that's what I really want to drive home, even being a part of the NCI team now. Is like, I want to make sure we're giving people what they want as they've asked for it, right? And we're not giving this, it's kind of transparent, right? So that's the idea. So that's the plug in NCI.
And
how can people find you or NCI or get a hold of you?
Well, Twitter, OnlyFans, Instagram. So you can you can find NCI online for a lot of things. I mean, it's NCI, so network cable infrastructure, and you can find us online. We've got a great website, and it shows a lot. That's another really neat thing. We just launched a really cool website. It's got all of our installs. It's got, you can see some of the things in action because you don't realize, when I say we're doing cable infrastructure, right? No one wants to see all the cabling in the building, and then you see how hard it is, and you see how nice and neat and clean it is because it's pretty particular.
I don't know. At Mercedes-Benz, I was kind of excited to see all the cabling.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
when we did the backstage tour.
Yeah, and we did all the cabling.
That is Erica. So
it is, and it's it's cool. I nerd out on that stuff too. Like, I want to see what's in the closet. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And that's it's nice. And I think that's
you guys do great work.
Yeah, and that's and plug in the webpage. Please just go check it out and see some of the installs, some of the things we've done, some things we can provide. Yeah. And I'm in sales, so the answer is always yes. Whatever you need, give me a call. I always like to say, if I don't know the answer, I know someone that does. So give me a call and let me help you out.
No, and you're a great company. Awesome. I love how you take care of your employees. My son even works with you.
Yeah,
guys,
he's wonderful man.
And I think it's pretty awesome that everything you guys do, you have an absolute amazing team.
I appreciate that. Yeah, and it's nice. I've known the guys for years, and it's nice kind of coming into the family. And I come from such a large corporation where you're just the number on the page, and no love lost. I had an absolutely wonderful career at NCR. I had a great time there, almost 11 years. But it's nice to kind of come home.
I love that.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I love that. Well, again, thank you very much, man. Erica.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for coordinating.
Yeah, thank you.
Getting this upstairs.
Absolutely.
At what point in this conversation did you realize you made a mistake? You're like, oh no.
The minute she got to the top step.
Yes.
It was pretty much the mistake.
No, I think it was at the end when you said OnlyFans. So
sorry guys.
This may be the only podcast that said that.
Sorry guys.
That's Philip for you. All right.
Yeah.
And he's like, go ahead and plug your company now.
Yeah.
So after this show, Eric and I are going to do a recap, talk a little bit more about what we found at InfoComm that was interesting for us. And there'll be some interesting trends that we'll talk about. And then also we'll be talking more about Erica and Charbet. I promise that we're going to talk about that. What does Charbet mean? What it's there? We've got a lot of questions about that this week. What is that? Why do we have an elephant as the logo? So I look forward to having people hear more about her personal story.
Why do you have an elephant?
Questions run through my mind.
You're going to have to tune in later,
Yeah.
Philip. We won't even tell you when we get downstairs. So for those of you watching, I'm Joel Carroll. Great seeing you.
Yeah, Erica Carroll. Thank you for joining us for Coffee with the Carrolls, where we have no coffee.
And a big shout out to Chris because he's doing the recording over here and just
doing a
shaking
great
his
job
head the entire time. I wish you guys could actually. He tried to get his thumb in, it just couldn't make it that far.
Erica, Joel, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it.
Anytime, Philip. We'll talk to you soon.
See you guys.